Welcome, everyone, to the first round post-game press conference of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championships. We ask that all media please silence your mobile devices, no flash photography. Coach will make a statement. We'll go into questions for student athletes. They will be dismissed, and then we'll go into questions for the coach. We're joined by St. Louis, first and foremost, Coach Rebecca Tillett, Brooke Flowers, and Kyla McMakin. Coach, if you don't mind, open us up with a statement.
All right, thank you. First, obviously not the outcome that you hope for when you earn these opportunities. Credit to Tennessee. I thought they were, really dominant defensively throughout and disrupted some things that we wanted to do consistently. In terms of us, I thought we had moments of really, really playing the way that we play, and that was in the first and the third. Even in the third quarter, they came out on that 6-0 run, and most teams would just say, oh, my goodness, it's just not our day. And our team responded to that, which is what this team's really going to go down, besides being champions and the first champions to advance to the NCAA tournament in St. Louis women's basketball history. They're going to go down for that about them, that through the leadership of these guys and the women on the leadership council with them, they just continued to fight the entire season, and those two quarters specifically were, what's been so representative of this group, which has been really special, and, how fortunate am I to get to lead them.
Questions for the student athletes? We have one on Zoom from Natalie. We'll go ahead and unmute her mic and let her fire away.
Natalie Heverin with the next.
Looks like we might have some trouble with her microphone. Anybody?
Coral Health and Oxford News Sentinel. Brooke, this is your last season. I just wanted to know if you could put into words what it's meant to you to have that experience of winning that championship and making it to the NCAA tournament.
I think that I couldn't be more thankful just for my teammates in this group, for all of us working together and believing that we could do that and that a championship was a possibility, and then going out and achieving that. So that's something that I'll always be able to remember, always be able to look back on, and that's kind of like forever. Like, we'll forever be the first champions. So a wonderful experience.
Hi there, I'm Devin from WUTK. So Brooke, this is for you, obviously being a senior, as you look to the younger players on this team, how hopeful are you for their future after you're gone? Do you see a lot of great inspiration with this team after the incredible season that you've had?
Yeah, I think that they'll continue to be amazing, continue to, reach new heights and do things that nobody expects them to do, just because of who they are and what our culture is as a program. So I'm looking forward to just watching all the things that they accomplish, and so much of the team is returning. So I think that they'll accomplish great things in the future, and I'll always be a Billiken, I'll always be watching. So I'm excited to see.
Teresa Walker, the Associated Press. For Brooke, you all were getting some offensive boards, but weren't converting them into second chance points. How much of it was Tennessee's length and height maybe affecting that, and how much of that was just maybe not executing as well as you all usually do?
I think that both things might have had something to do with it. We played a hard non-conference season, so we've played Power 5 schools over the non-conference. I think it had been a little bit since we had seen so much height, but also at the same time playing Rhode Island in the semifinal game. They're kind of a bigger team in the A-10. We got offensive rebounds, which is always what we want to do. We didn't necessarily execute as much off of them as we would like to, but,
Let's try Natalie one more time here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. For Brooke, with your blocks today, you passed Rebecca Lobo to hold sole possession of 18th place in NCAA blocks all time. what does that mean to you? And can you reflect over your defensive prowess in your time at St. Louis?
Well, first of all, wow. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I just think that I've always kind of been a defensive player first. My offensive game hasn't really always been the best. I mean, even now it's okay. Not like Kyla. She could, create her own shot at any time. But defense has kind of been my thing, coming into the game, into any game, really. I just want to bring my defensive presence as much as I possibly can. And I was actually getting on myself like halfway through the game. I was like, you haven't really gotten any blocks. So kind of challenged myself in the second half to get some more, and I did. So that was nice. But, I kind of have a defensive mindset, and I wanted to just block as many shots as I could get my hands on. I feel like I could have got a few more, but, that's cool, though.
Kyla, you guys were able to keep that game pretty close through the beginning of the second quarter, or even cut the lead to 3. What was working well for you guys, and then why do you feel like it fell apart in that second quarter?
I think we were doing a good job with, scoring the ball on offense. We were getting to the rim, hitting shots, all that. And then on defense, we were there were still times that they were scoring, but we were stopping them more than we were the second half. And then second half, they kind of went on a run, and our answer back wasn't always there, and then it's harder to chip away when they get so far and far. And I think we did have the right mindset, trying to keep going, but some of the shots just didn't fall, and that can be very discouraging. But I think they're a good team. They came out, and we just had to answer back a little bit faster.
Natalie, you have another question?
Yes. For both student athletes, can you reflect on this season, and for Brooke, your entire career at St. Louis, and what all of your accomplishments this season have meant to you?
I can go first. You can go last. Okay. I'm new, obviously, being a transfer, so it's just crazy to see the development and how fast everything ended up clicking. And there was never a period of time, coming in with a disconnect from the team. We're not one of those teams with clicks or anything like that. It was just so quick that we all kind of embraced one another, and just everyone easily went into what the core values were, and we're able to, take everything, we're coming from so many different places and different backgrounds, and people try to take those backgrounds and help make connections, and it's just, I don't think a lot of teams could have connected as fast or have been able to do, the season that we did in the first year.
I would definitely agree with everything that Kai has said about the past season, just how we've embraced each other, a new coaching staff, just a new way of playing basketball, just everybody, investing into it and investing into one another. It's truly a beautiful thing, and I think that that's why, we went on to win a championship this season. In response to reflecting over, the past 5 years, very proud of myself, and just seeing all the growth of so many people, like Julia and Peyton, from when they came in to where they are now. So just the growth that has occurred, in the program, in the city of St. Louis, it's really just been a beautiful thing. So just to be able to say that I was a part of that means a lot.
We have time for one more question for the student athletes. Okay, we will dismiss you. Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
All right, questions for Coach Tillett.
Coach, when McMahon, I'm going to butcher
Make
Kyla.
Yes.
Let's go with Kyla. When she banked in that 3 at the end of the first, and you get close, and there were moments. How much does that maybe give you hope as you take this program forward into your second season?
Yeah, I think that was, those were some good moments, some characteristic fight of this group. I wish I'd helped them a little bit more in some of those moments to, we had some quick turnovers, and in a game like this, when you have those in a row and they convert so quickly, it can get away really quickly. But when she hit that bank, I just kind of smiled because, like, this is this team, right? This is the team that when things go a certain way, they assert their will to make them go another way. Again, I think we did that in the first and the third. But that second, when they made that run, it's a critical run that really good teams are able to make at that exact moment that can send you into halftime kind of, regrouping. And you want to be still in that fighting phase there.
At halftime, obviously there was a big lead, but crazier things have happened. And then Tennessee opens the third quarter on a 6-0 run. You call a timeout. What was your message to the team in that moment after, not coming out how exactly you wanted to?
Yeah, I think we just said exactly that, right? Like, steady ourselves. That's not what we wanted to happen. That's not what we talked about happening. But let's respond to it. Let's, as a group, respond. And, I think that is the story of this team. And I think it started with Julia Martinez's leadership early in the non-conference, just having this will to make things happen on the court. It goes all the way back to Brooke Flowers planting the seed of what we could do this season, which, again, even as a coach, I've been doing this a long time at different levels, and to have a student athlete so confidently say, this is what I stayed to do. And I remember even as a coach thinking, wow, that's a powerful statement, right? And then our non-conference was rocky. So to then have leaders continue to lead. Those two did that. Kyla did that. Ken and Camry are both a part of the Leadership Council. I mean, we had a meeting just 2 nights ago on the bus on the way to get some of the ice cream that we owed them for some of our road wins along the way that we haven't been able to fully repay. And just so to see them continue to lead, I think those were the same moments in the first and the third. I just wish I'd helped them have a few more of those moments today.
Natalie has a question on Zoom.
Can you talk about Brooke Flowers and what she's been able to do all season defensively, but also in this game, similar to what I asked her, that those 3 blocks that put her ahead of Rebecca Lobo, who's a name that comes up every year in college basketball.
Yeah, I love that she's 18. 2, Rebecca Lobo graduated, when I was she graduated college when I was finishing up high school. So just the markers in time, right, to think of how dominant of a performance Brooke has had over and over and over again to achieve that record. It started all the way back Florida Gulf Coast. She broke a record there. She's just consistently breaking records. I mean, we'll need to just make a really good extensive list of what she did this season for our program. And I think just to hear her say she's proud of herself, like, isn't that what we want for student athletes, right? To invest fully in the culture, and she had to do it more than once, and as a coaching change occurs, and just stay so committed to her hometown, to St. Louis University, to break all those individual records and win an A-10 championship for the first time in program history. We go around at the end, a tradition we took from my dad as a coach, and talk to each senior, just each person say something in that emotion that you're in after the last game of the season. And to Brooke, like, what did St. Louis University need? They needed Brooke Flowers, and they needed her to stay, and they needed her to commit and do all the things that she did to break those records and lead us here.
Natalie, do you have another?
Yes. Again, I asked you this, I think, back in Wilmington, but can you reflect on this season and all that you've accomplished in year one, and what you're most proud of your team this season?
Yeah, I mean, what a season. I mean, feels like we've been going full speed, right, since the press conference. It really does feel that way when you take over a program. I think just for this group, the staff, the student athletes, our leadership, our support staff, like, what we accomplish is not easy. And anybody that's been around the game a long time knows that. And, when I talk to other championship coaches, including ones at St. Louis University, we'll often just say to each other, winning is hard. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of investment. It's a lot of sacrifice. And so just to see this group, I mean, I remember initial conversations with Chris May, our athletic director, talking about what we're trying to do here. And, both of us believe so deeply in culture, and how can you speed it up, right? And both of us are having these conversations while knowing that it's not necessarily realistic to speed it up as fast as we did. And I think that's just a testament to every single woman in that locker room and everyone that touched our program for staying the course during the more difficult moments and then learning so quickly. Like what we were able, even today, even in the moments that were not successful, the things that we were able to attempt to execute, we had no chance doing that 20 games ago. There's just because we hadn't been together long enough. We hadn't learned enough together. And so just to continue to build on that foundation over and over and over again is why this team will go down in history.
Obviously, Rickea Jackson and Jordan Horston are the top of a scouting report, but Jordan Walker definitely made a significant impact today just with her defense, her work in transition. What were you guys expecting from her coming to this game, and how do you feel like she swung the game a little bit today?
Yeah, I'm sure for them to make the type of run that they want to make, you've got to have some balance, right? And obviously we spend so much time prepping for Jackson and Horston, but I do think Walker made a difference today in what she was doing, and she'll need to keep doing that to take her team where they want to go. I think balance is so critically important. It's something we had to work hard to find, and they were, very balanced today, 4 in double figures, almost 5. And just, a dominant performance for them, really on both sides of the ball. But I thought she played well, and I thought she was critical to them making some of the run that they did that, put us on our heels a bit.
Any more questions? Coach, thanks so much for the time. Congrats on a great year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome back to Knoxville. Post-game press conferences for the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. Once again, the format will be Coach will make an opening statement. Questions just for the student athletes. We'll dismiss them and go into questions for Coach Kelly Harper. Jordan Horston and Jordan Walker also here. Coach, if you don't mind, open us up with a statement about today's game.
Absolutely. Well, I'm obviously excited about how we played. I thought our team came in, handled business, did what we needed to do. And, that St. Louis has been on a run. They have been playing some really good basketball. They've had a lot of momentum. And I thought defensively in that second quarter, we were able to really set the tone and of how the game was going to go for the duration. And really proud of our team. Every single person that went in the game did something positive and productive on both ends of the court. it's been a long couple weeks. I think our team has had good. I think we've had good practices. We've had some good energy, and again, we were just dialed in today.
Questions for the student athletes?
Hi there, I'm Devin Hoke with WUTK Sports. So I'm looking at the stat sheet here, and 13 team steals. Jordan Walker, you had 3 of those 13. How were you so effective on defense with this game? I noticed a lot of those were in the middle there.
I think, with our team defense, when we're able to play as a team, it helps us just be in positions to make those steals and, get those opportunities. I think one of them was on, throwing the inbound, and I saw on film that they do that, so I'm like, okay, maybe I could get one. So that was just something that, yeah. So that was just something that I had been thinking about, before the game. So when the opportunity came, I'm like, okay, well, let's just do it right now. But yeah, I think really just playing team defense helps us and allows us to be in those positions.
Just being aggressive and, emphasizing on that. We always aggressive, finding ways to find deflections. It was important to us, and, we wanted to make it happen. So, things happen.
Cora Hall, the Knox News Sentinel. This is for both you guys, but Jordan Orson, I know you missed the tournament last year, but going into this the NCAA tournament, how important was it for you guys to get a win like this to really set the tone and send a message about who you will be in March?
It's very important to get a win now, because if you don't, you're done. So, like I said, every team has the same mindset. It's 0-0, score 0-0, record 0-0. Nothing matters except for when you step on that court. So, it's very important from here on out for us to, focus in on the little things and capitalize on their mistakes and, just do everything that we need to do so that we can figure out how to win. It doesn't have to be pretty, but we just got to figure out how to get a win.
Yeah.
Gabriella on Zoom has a question for us. We'll unmute her mic. Gabriella.
Hi, Gabriella Lewis of the Next. This is for both of you. That second quarter, a 21-0 run. Can you speak a little bit to that quarter? What were the adjustments coming out of the first y'all made to go on such a run like that?
Those adjustments really were on the defensive end. I think that we all just kicked it into another gear and really just sat down and guarded. And I think that when we do that, we're able to go on those runs. So I think that that's really what stretched it out for us. And then, of course, being at home and in front of the home crowd, let me just say it feels good to be at home. Definitely miss being here. So they definitely were a part of that too, because when they're into it, we're all into it. You feed off of it, feed off of each other. So I really think that that's what helped us.
And I didn't even realize it was 21. What was it, 21-0? Yeah. I didn't even realize it was like we had that many stops. It was just like, okay, so we have these kills. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. Should I not? Okay, we have kills. Like we got to get a stop. So we get so many kills, we get so many stops, we get a kill. So we were just focusing on, all right, let's get this stop in this possession so we can get a kill. So, and then it just leads to offense. Like I said, I've been preaching this since the beginning of the season. Our defense is what motivates and which fires our offense, along with the great atmosphere that we're playing in. But like I said, it matters about the defense.
Ryan Sylvia with Ball Report on Rivals.com. You're able to clear the bench at the end of the game with such a big lead. How much fun is it to see your teammates that might not necessarily play in every game get a chance?
It's so much fun. I just love it. I love it. Because they put so much work in, and you want everybody to be happy. But sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. But for them to be able to come in and be productive and shine, it's just, it's just like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like
it just makes you feel
it just
good.
makes you feel good inside and just happy for them. And I don't know, it's just a good feeling. But because they put the work in, they're working hard every day in practice, and it can be hard. So whenever they get in, we always going to root for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow up on that. The way they finished, they scored exactly the same amount of points in the fourth quarter as you did in the second quarter. How nice is it to see that kind of consistency? Yeah, 28-9 in the second and fourth. That kind of consistency, something that you all can also kind of help feed off of and build on?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just knowing that, you have somebody to come in and, produce, hold their own. Like I said, I've been preaching this since the beginning of the season as well. We have a lot of people, we have a lot of pieces that, that's good for us. So I feel like, having that depth allows us to have, we can maximize our minutes. So.
Yeah, and I'm just really proud of them. because like Jordy said, they come every single day and they work hard. You know, they put in the time. They've never stopped working. So to be able to see them out on the court is really like just a good feeling for us, just to be able to see them get to, you know, play and get in the game.
And I know y'all probably don't know this, but Edie Darby, she's a baller.
Yeah,
Okay? She's a baller. She's our, that's our. She's usually on like the practice squad, so like she does like a lot of the scout team. So I mean, she be cooking us up in practice. So it's like I knew that shot was going in when it left her hands, because it's like she does it every day in practice. So
yeah, what y'all saw is nothing.
It's nothing
surprising for us.
she's a baller.
Jordan Walker, this is for you. That 6-0 run to start the second quarter felt very important for you guys, just because, you know, it was a 24-point lead, but crazier things have happened. For you, I mean, you were very involved in that as well. What was your mindset coming out of halftime, and how important was it for you to kind of set that tone immediately in that third quarter?
You know, my mindset coming out of halftime was really just like you said, to set the tone, send that first punch. We were up by quite a few, but anything can happen. It's March, so really just coming out, starting strong. I knew that would be critical for us, just to set the tone for the rest of the game as well. So that was really my mindset. You know, we've had some games where third quarter we don't come out and have that, but I think that we've grown from that, and so I just think that that's a testament to what we've been working on and how we've come together this season.
Frank DeLuca, WVIR. That comfortable lead let the starters kind of get some rest in the second half, especially after having played the 3 games in 3 days in Greenville. How important is it to you guys to, you know, get some minutes off at the end of a game?
I mean, it's important, but it's March, so you can't get tired. Like, I mean, you just got to push through. So I understand what you're saying with, you know, getting your legs up for a few minutes, but it's March, so you got to do what you have to do to win.
We can dismiss the student athletes now. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, questions for Coach Kelly Harper?
Hello, Coach. My name is Devin Hogue from WUTK. Congrats on the win, first off. Second off, I know you guys probably just take it one game at a time, but knowing that you'd either face Iowa State or Toledo, has there already been some look ahead or some potential strategies you'd hope to implement against either one of those teams?
Yeah, so we have, we assign our assistant coaches to the scouts, and we already have probably 2 scouting reports ready to go, depending on the outcome of the game. I've looked at it sparingly. I really try to stay locked in on game one, but I've talked to our staff, and we did a few things earlier this week that could translate to these 2 teams without our players knowing it. You know, just a few little drills here and there. You know, obviously they're both really talented and very efficient offensively, and you know, it's going to be a challenge, a tough game regardless of who we're playing on Monday.
Kelly, just want to ask you about that start to the third quarter from Jordan Walker. You've said it all season that she sets a tone for you guys, but how great was it to see that, you know, come about in a really crucial moment coming out of halftime for you guys?
Yeah, I thought coming out at half, obviously, we talked about wanting to set the tone for the second half as well, and we did. I mean, we came out and were really aggressive on both ends. Obviously, Jordan Walker makes plays. She has been so good and so consistent. She's just tough, and you love that about her. And I think they just fed off of each other and the energy in the building to start that second half.
Kelly, the SEC, which was maybe a little maligned during the regular season, is off to a 6-0 start right now in the tournament. How nice is it to see that? And then to follow up for this team to come out with a fairly dominating performance. And as I earlier, to score as many points in the final quarter when you're subbing and have pulled your starters as you did in the second quarter when you took control. How nice is it to see that combination?
Yeah, well, first, speaking of the SEC, you know, our league was so tough this year and so competitive. There were teams that didn't make the tournament that are playing well, And, it's really cool to see. I think Alabama's after us, but every SEC team that's played in the NCAA tournament in NIT up to this point won. And it just speaks to the competition and the toughness and the talent that is in the SEC. So we're pulling for each other, that's for sure. Was really proud of how we finished that game. And, we wanted to go low minutes with our starters, but I wanted to give them a couple more in that fourth quarter just to look. It's nice for them to have the breaks, but they'd rather play. Trust me, they'd rather be on the court playing. So gave them a couple more minutes to go, and then brought our subs in, and they did an excellent job. This on both ends of the court, and obviously to put up 28-9, that's a really good job for them. They stayed with it. It didn't get sloppy despite the score. Sometimes that happens. So just proud of our team on both ends of the court for 40 minutes. We had a little dry spell at the end of the third where they went zone. We were getting great shots. We just didn't knock them down and didn't get offensive boards. I think Jasmine Franklin finally put one in that put us back on top in the third.
All right, so obviously an amazing amount of steals. I mentioned it earlier, 13 as a team. Was there a moment in the game where you noticed, okay, St. Louis, they're running this set or they're doing these plays offensively. Here's how we can shut it down?
I think our players started feeling comfortable with their actions, not necessarily so much anticipating the plays, but seeing the action. I thought we were, for the most part, we had really good awareness off the ball. I thought that's where some of our steals came. Sometimes when you're off the ball, you're chilling, right? But I thought we were off the ball ready to make a play. I thought our awareness was good. One thing that St. Louis gets a lot of steals, and our players might have been a little upset with me because all I've talked about the last few days was how many steals St. Louis gets and how tough they are, and they're ball hawks. They do a great job of taking advantage of your mistakes, and it was really special for me to see our players be able to make some of those plays as well.
Kelly, last year, both games at Thompson Bowling Arena in the NCAA tournament were kind of tight. How nice was it to set the tone with a win like this in the first round?
Listen, a big win takes a lot of stress off the coaching staff sitting over there, so it was nice. And the coaching staff's family. I know my family likes the big wins. Our administration likes the big wins. You get to relax a little bit, but you can't expect them, that's for sure. I'm proud that we did what we were supposed to do. And I think the score is a result of that. But it's the NCAA tournament. You got to think that every game is going to be tough and competitive down the wire.
Gabriella on Zoom has another question.
Hi, Gabrielle Lewis from The Next. I was just hoping you could speak to the intensity of your team during an NCAA tournament run. I mean, obviously, no program is no stranger to this tournament, but what your team is feeling, and also with Rakia Jackson having her first ever NCAA tournament game.
Yeah, there may have been some jitters early on because we had a few players that this is new to them, so I thought we settled in pretty well. I thought our intensity was good. I thought we played hard. I thought we were aggressive. I think that's important. I thought we were pretty physical. Those things are things you have to do to get wins in the NCAA tournament, and proud of that. In terms of going into the tournament, it's been a long couple weeks. It really has, and I feel like about a week ago they were ready to play. And I was, as a coach, you feel like they're ready, and you got another week to wait. So I was a little concerned that maybe we'd prepped them a little bit early, but proud of how they've handled this last week, and obviously how they came out and played today showed they were ready to go.
Any more questions? One more.
All right, Coach, how incredible was it to see such a huge fan support for this game, especially considering, there many students are still on spring break, classes don't begin until Monday, the men are playing a tournament game as well, and yet there was still a really good turnout for this game. How great was that to see?
Yeah, I'm so proud of our fans. Not surprised, but proud anyway. And they made a big difference. I tell you, they gave great energy today. I thought it got loud, and our team responded. The hands. I was so excited for our team to get to play at home. So excited that we were rewarded with that opportunity, and took advantage of it today. Again, this is a great environment. This is a great venue for women's basketball. It's so special here, and I'm glad we got to experience it today.
Coach, thanks so much. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.